Yeah, we'll soon start with our session. So that's reading comprehension. So today we are going to discuss different types of questions and how to summarize the things, because I had said you earlier. Yes, it is very important for us to know all the types of questions. Along with that, we need to know the summarization also, why we need to connect to the passage, isn't it? So today we'll be learning all of these skills, and we'll be understanding some of the key words, key ideas that we need to keep in mind. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen. Just let me know if you people are able to see the screen or not. Yes. Are you guys able to see the screen? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Right. Now, today, let us understand. So, the first type of question, the main idea question. Okay. So, what do you mean by main idea question? Main idea. Main idea implies the main purpose or the primary purpose, or why is that author has constructed that particular article, or what is the reason behind author presenting that piece of information to us. Now, here, what kind of challenges we get here? And see, I'm telling this is one of the easiest question. Even though it is easiest question, we end up so not answering well. Why we end up not answering perfectly means because, so as I said yesterday, in the paragraph, in each and every paragraph, we will be having lot many explanations, evidences explaining these ideas, isn't it? And also we also know that each paragraph contains different ideas, so we won't be concentrating on accumulating all of these ideas. We may miss the idea when we are picturizing our main ideas. So, or we may overread these explanations and these evidences, because of which what happens, so we will be not having, or will not be very accurate in finding out what is the main purpose or main idea of the passages. So therefore, guys, what we need to do is, as soon as you summarize, okay, so how do you summarize? You use the skimming process and summarize. I'll be doing that thing now immediately after this question, so that you will understand what is the meaning of the summarization. Okay, so as soon as you summarize, so you accumulate the complete idea, and see, there you will come to know why the author is building that article, or why author is presenting that article will be given there. And then so that you consider, when you realize that that is nothing but your shadow answer, and that shadow answer you come and compare with the options. That means, until and unless you won't get the shadow answer, you should not read the options also. Just you come across main idea question, realize what was the summary, and then you get the shadow answer. That shadow answer you need to come and compare with the options. Okay, and now let me discuss all these things more in detail when we take the passages. But here you can see main idea questions. It won't be always asking what is the main idea. You will be seeing here in this passage, the author is primarily concerned with, this is also main idea. Which of the following would be the most appropriate title for the given argument? See, title also, when we can give the title or the name or the heading, only when we know the summary, when we know the main purpose, when we know the primary purpose, then only we can give, right? For example, if we take the movie name Bahubali, so why did we give the name? Why did director or whoever gave the name as Bahubali? Why it was not given with some other movie? Why it was not given with so some other name there? Because the theme, the movie basically portrayed a character known as Bahubali there, isn't it? So that means the main idea in that particular movie was what? So to talk about, to describe the characteristic of a heroic figure, that is Bahubali. In the same way, that's the reason we gave the name Bahubali. In the same way, if we have to give a title to her passage, you need to know the main idea or the central idea. So that is the reason. See, all of these questions could be answered just by your summary there. Okay. So therefore, the main point of the passage is again related to your main idea. The author's primary purpose in this passage, again you have to go with the same thing, that you need to get the main idea. The chief theme of the passage is also asking you the same thing: which of the following statements best expresses the main idea? This is a direct question. Now, any of these questions, so kindly what you need to do, you need to just give the main idea only. Nothing else you need to give. And how you can give, this is one of the easiest I've been telling. Why it is easiest? Because you're not doing any extra work other than summarization. With the help of summarization, you can answer these questions, right? So, and also you can see that basically we have some of the key terms, so which will indicate whether it is a main idea question, or even in the passages you people can see these words where you can actually take out, okay, so there only in and around you will be having this particular this one, what is that? The main idea. So bolster is nothing but supporting, delineating. So it is explaining. See, depicting, explaining. So that's what all these things are. What it is giving you, what is happening there. So there only in and around this word only you will be having the main idea here. Discredit or disbelief, documentation. So elaborate, endorse, exemplify. So illustrate, refute, speculate, all these things indirectly or directly showcases that. So it is the main idea, or it is focusing on the main idea. This is our main idea questions we have. Next, the tone of the author question. For example, when you hear to me, you will understand the tone, isn't it? Oh, today ma'am is excited. So ma'am is teaching in a very, what is that, excited, energetic tone here. But if I suddenly decrease my tone, if there is no pitch, if there is no a kind of like excitement or that activeness, immediately what you will feel, oh, today we guess ma'am is not interested to train the things. Or if I'm very loud and arrogant in training or in answering something, you will feel that, okay, so today ma'am is arrogant, ma'am must be angry about something, isn't it? So that means what? Tone, when we speak, we can make out. But on the written idea, how can you identify the tone? That is quite difficult, isn't it? Writing, that is the reason the messages, the informations, so cannot be easily perceived. Okay, so we have to be double careful when we read something. Why? Because the information can be placed, or it would not reach in the same way the author wants you to read it. Okay, so that is the reason. So we need to be very careful here, and it is one of the trickiest question. Why tricky? You are trying to understand the attitude of the author there, which is not a piece of cake, but we can make it easy. How? So concentrate on the transition words like however, if, so therefore, so that, so in spite, despite. Like this, we have 250 transition words. Okay. which we are going to discuss. So in our vocabulary, this one, what is that session, we are going to discuss that. So these transition words, whenever you have the say statements, you need to focus on those, this one, what is that words, because, and also we'll have some of the characteristic words also. Excited is one of the characteristic word, annoyed is a characteristic word. So that means you need to concentrate on the words also and on these transitions also. So then only you will be understanding so what is happening. And other than that, when you people read, okay, it is not just reading, guys, you need to read so using the punctuations. For example, wherever comma is there, give a small pause. In this pause, why we give pause after comma? So that, so whatever we have read, let the information get into our head, and that is the reason we give a pause there. So therefore use this wavy motion of reading there. Okay, and here, like, how does the tone of the author questions appears? You can see that the tone of the author also, it won't directly be asked what is the tone and all. So the question could come like this: the author's attitude towards contemporary cinema. So the passage regards the idea, see, regards, attitude. So, and what describes the tone? So presentation is marked by a tone of what indicates the author experience. So the feeling, emotions, all these words, if it comes in the question, that means you should blindly think that, so they are asking tone of the author question. So therefore what you need to do there, as soon as you get the tone of the author question, you see on what tone they are asking, on what information they are asking, the author's mindset or the behavior or the attitude. Get back to the passage and like look for that idea, see the transition words, see the words they have used there. Accordingly we'll be getting the thing there. Okay, so we'll be doing that practically. And also see, we have many of the keywords that indicates some of the different tones here. So like we have aloof, so which is nothing but you are away from something, you're not no more interested in something. So ambivalent, that means you're confused, you are unable to this one decide. Brisk, which is nothing but abrupt or rude, cautionary, so you are conveying with a me warning. So you can see like we have so many words, so which is basically called as tone words or attitude words. We have given few of them here, but in the list that we'll be giving for you with regards to the vocabularies, you will be having thousands of them. Not thousand, guys, you will be giving you more than so 10,000 words for you. Now you can see here, all these are, what is that, our tone based words only. So if you understand these words, so immediately what you will understand, what is the attitude of the author who is writing that particular this one. Now specific fact or specific detailed question, as I said yesterday also, specific fact or specific detailed questions comes many. That means, so the most common questions and the moderate difficult level. Okay, what it is, moderate difficult level it will be. So these will be many questions will be based on specific detail. Specific detail means what? It won't be generic or overall on the passage, it won't be, but they will be picking up one particular idea, and on the basis of that idea they will be asking the questions like why this idea is presented, what is the purpose of this idea, what is the meaning of this idea, what does this idea indicate, what is how this idea is presented, or what is the purpose of this idea to come into this picture. So like this they are going to ask the questions on that particular specific detail. So look at the way how they are presenting these questions. The author refers to example phrase in line 5. primarily in order to see why they have put this example phrase in line 5. What is the purpose? So like this, they will be asking here, according to the passage, the critics considered the ideas found in the novelist's work to be what? The author states all of the following with regards to something except that according to the passage, which of the following is true? So according to the passage, the chief characteristics of the subject. So that's what they are going to give you on specific detail, all these types of question. So here, the good thing about specific detailed question is you know the spot where you're going and looking for the answer there. So you know the spot where you have to get in for the passage there. Okay, it's not like you have to wander around the passage. In fact, the method that I'm going to tell you so will actually help you not to wander in the passage. You will be immediately getting on to the exact location. That is the beauty of the techniques that we are going to narrate for you guys. Okay, so this is specific detail, but yes, when we do practically, you will be better understanding them. And you can see that, you can see like the way it is given, and then you can see some of the keywords so that we have here. Okay, so aesthetic, assumption, attribute, divergent, fluctuate, you can see all these are some of the questions that we have. The next question is implied or inference question. Implied or inference question is what? Basically, it is a question type which requires the answer or the idea which is not stated in your passage so very clearly. That means it is indicated. Okay, it is indirectly presented. The logic is present, but the main idea is not given there. So now you people need to find that indication or that particular idea there. Okay, so that is the most important thing so that we need to do here. Okay, implied or inference questions basically will indicate what? A kind of unsaid idea you need to pick. What you need to pick? You need to pick the unsaid idea. So for example, I'll give a good example for this inference. See, we all had lockdown during COVID. Government just declared that we'll all have lockdown, isn't it? But so was the purpose of government was to just lock up the people in the house, or what was the main purpose of it? The main purpose, we all know that they didn't want to spread the COVID, or they didn't want this COVID to spread there. So that is the reason they declared that we need to have lockdown. So lockdown was the logic. But what was the unsaid idea there? The unsaid idea that they are giving this order of lockdown so that the COVID will not spread, because the COVID spreads from one person to another person like very easily. So they wanted to limit the movement and the interactions, isn't it? So that was unsaid idea which we all understood, and we followed this rule of lockdown. Okay, so that means what? Always, even in the passage, on the basis of some logic, an unsaid idea will be there, and that idea only we need to identify here. Okay, so this is quite complicated question. Usually you may get in the second part many times, but if you start understanding the simplifications now, it is really a piece of cake here. Now, how does the inference question comes in? Look at this. It can be inferred from the passage that, guys, I want you people to look at all these questions. Don't think that why is that we are doing the theory. If you don't know these things, if you don't know like how these questions comes in, so tomorrow when you are doing the passage, when these questions comes, because not always will be getting the same type of, I mean, in the same way, they won't give you the questions, they won't give the same wordings, they give differently. So therefore you people need to understand the paraphrasing, you need to understand how these questions comes in, and for these questions what kind of answers you need to give. That is the reason we are taking an effort to present you with all these things. So here it can be inferred from the passage. See, it can be inferred direct question. In evaluating scientist theory, some of the critics were. So this one, the passage suggests that if the predators or predictions of the geological department were to be true, it would be. See, now nowhere they use the word this one. What is that? Inference. But still it is an inference question. Why? Look at the way the question is given here. The passage suggests that if, see, look at the condition. If the predictions of geological department were true, then something would happen which is not suggested or which is not said directly in the passage here. Okay. That means what? Don't expect that always you will have implies or inference word. Many times without these words also this question will be asked. The author implies that, the author apparently feels that, according to the passage it is likely that, the passage is most likely directed towards an audience of, so which of the following. So all these things are kind of giving us the direction to identify the inference here. Okay. So now you can see all of these things. So some of the keywords we have. So you can just go through them. I guess already you people have the handouts of this. So kindly go through them. Now, structural and technical based constructions. It is basically used to understand how the sentence is constructed. What is happening? What is the writing style? So it's just like the tone only. Okay. Their tone, we are trying to tell the like emotion of author, but here we are trying to tell the writing style, whether author is argumentative, I mean whether the passage is argumentative, whether it is a descriptive, whether it is narrative, whether it is analytical. So, and also they will be asking some kind of figures of speech. What is the figure of speech in this particular sentence, whether it is epigram, or whether it is lithot, or whether it is simile or metaphor or personification. So like this they will be understanding. They want to know how well you have understood the style, so in presenting the ideas of the there. So this is how your question comes in. Which of the following best describes the structure of the passage? Which of the following best describes the organization? See how the lines 17 to 23 is presented, whether it is describing, whether it is giving evidence, whether it is questioning the discussed task. So like this, they will be asking you the thing. In presenting the argument, the author does all of the following except something. So that's what is he doing? Is justifying, is doing something except something. The relationship between the second paragraph and the first paragraph, how these paragraphs are connected. In the first paragraph, if they are describing something, whether in the second paragraph, so what is happening, so that we need to find out. During the course of the final paragraph, the narrator's focus shifts from dash to dash here. So how what is the structure happening there? So that is what you need to find out here. Okay. So therefore, structure is more or less like a tone, but here we are discussing how the movement of the ideas are happening. In the structure and technique, what is happening? We need to see how the ideas are moving, what is basically constructed or built in the paragraph. That is what we need to see here. Now, you can see here, like we do have all of these words which indicates the style or the technique involved in this thing. abstract, analogy, antithesis, argumentative, I said you, right? Assertion, declarative, concrete, evidence, explanatory, expository, narrative. So all these describes what? The structure of the passage here. Next, extrapolation, just like analogous. Okay, so like Karnataka, Bangalore. So, and then we'll be asking, so your UP, so which is the capital. So it should be this one. What is that? Lucknow. So therefore, what happens? So when we analogous or analogous in the sense, they will give one logic. For that logic, they will give one idea, and on the same how this logic and there is a connection, just like that they are going to pick up one more logic. For that you need to pick up the corresponding sentences. So that is what we basically need to do in the extrapolation question. That means you need to pick up similar situation. It won't be as simple as just giving the analogous words. Here you are trying to connect the analogous situation. For example, when it is raining, so we use umbrellas so to protect ourselves. When it is very sunny, so what we'll do, we'll avoid going outside, or we try to use this one, what is that, summer clothes, or sometimes we use like even umbrellas to protect us. Okay, so that means what basically like the analogous situations, so that we need to take up. See, which of the following situation is most closely analogous, you can see, or which is analogous or extrapolated. So that is what we basically have here. Got it? Yes.
Yes,
Now,
Mrs.
negative
Zaina.
or can you please keep yourselves under mute? Negative or exception questions. Here, these questions are nothing but they are very simple questions only. You need to take out the except. See, the passage states all of the following about mitochondria except. That means what? You're trying to pick out something which is not mentioned from the options there. Okay. Here, one thing why it will become complicated means, see, because we'll read this thing. The passage states all of the following about mitochondria. We just oversee except, and we'll pick up some statement which is stated. So if we pick up some statement which is stated, that means what? It will be wrong there, isn't it? They are saying like, what is that? We need to basically take up something which is not stated about that particular thing here, isn't it? So therefore, here this question is illusion. That negative or exception question, why it is complicated means it is like illusion. So what happens, we easily get trapped for this, so we need to be little careful about the same there. Okay, and the next thing that we have here is what? The contextual definition or of a term, so or a word. Yes, you need to give the meaning, so for the word or for the thing, so that they have given here. Okay, so therefore, so that is the thing basically we need to do here. So here, more than the immediate meaning, we need to understand in that particular statement how this is used. Okay, so and command of evidence, so we need to pick up what is the best example, best evidence, best proof for the idea presented here. Okay, so that's the thing basically we have here. Now, let me get on to the this one. What is that? Some of the traps that you need to avoid. So when you are doing. So why you people pick up the wrong answers? You will be saying, ma'am, when we go through the question, we'll be stuck between 2 to 3 options, or basically we'll be stuck between 2 answers, and in that one answer will be correct, one answer will be wrong. You know why this happens? First thing, you don't read the questions properly. I'm dead sure, guys. Why? Out of my 17 years, so I've seen that students will be hurried to answer. But they don't realize that only we can answer if we know the question properly, isn't it? That is one mistake. We don't give importance to question. And also, when we say read the question properly, what you people will do now? You will just read the question and you will start marking the keywords there. And what you will do, so you will take those keywords and you will get back to the passage, and wherever there is those keywords, you will just read that part, you will take that answer, you will come and pick it up. But guys, let me tell you, in GRE, the keywords method will not work out for you guys. Why it will not work out means, because you can see now the questions they gave on your this one, what is that, passages, the way the questions are presented and the way the answers are presented in the paragraph is completely phrased. That means they won't be using the same language for questionnaires, and they won't be using the same language for paragraphs or passages. Okay, so that's the thing that you need to keep in mind. What is that? So they won't be basically so keeping the same language. Same language means, now you may wonder, ma'am, it's English only now. Why you are saying language? Language in the sense, the way they present the ideas. Okay, so the that means the words. So the say for example, whatever I'm explaining to you guys, you will go and narrate the same thing to your friends. How do you narrate? Whether you use exactly the same words and same sentences? No, right? You're going to use different words, different sentences, but the meaning will be same. In the same way, the question idea will be presented in a completely different way as that of your passage. Okay, that is the reason we say not to mark the keywords. And also, I like to tell you, spend some extra 1 to 3 seconds on your question, but properly understand or identify the keyword. Okay, so what you need to do, you need to spend some extra seconds on question, understand the key idea, what is the requirement of the question, you need to understand. Now immediately after you read the question, kindly, this is my request, don't look at the options. Why? Because we all have very short term memory. Okay, just like Gajini, we can say, at least for the exam purpose. So here what happens, so whatever we would have retained about the question, immediately when you read the options, lengthy options they will be, what happens, you will forget the question there, you will miss that minuteness of the questions, and rest of the options, bits of ideas will be lingering in our mind. And we know that all the options will be somewhere related to the passage. Those words and all will be lingering in the mind, you will be finding them, and randomly you will just come and land up with the wrong answers. Okay, that is why these are some of the mistakes what we do, because of which, in spite of we understanding English language, we end up committing mistakes in choosing wrong answers. Okay, so that's the reason. So let us be careful about this particular thing. Got it? Now, that means what? You should not you should not read the options immediately as you read the questions. You need to read the questions, understand the question idea, get back to the paragraph, go to the spot where that question idea is discussed. So you read that complete sentence in detail, and that particular idea will be your shadow answer. Shadow answer in the sense what? Okay, after reading that particular information, whatever comes into your mind, that is the real and shadow answer. That answer you come and compare with the options. The options that matches 100% to your shadow answer is your perfect answer. See, when you have the shadow answer, you won't be confused with 2 ideas or 3 ideas. Why? You know perfectly what you need. Okay. So that is the reason always finding shadow answer is very, very, very important here. So this is whatever I have explained here. So that's been put here in your this one. And also when you are picking up the answers, some of the easy way to process this one, elimination process. What is this elimination process? We just try to see. First thing, when we have something extremes, okay, only, all, always, every, never, exclusively, or superlatives also. Okay, whenever we have superlatives or these extreme words, kindly don't pick that particular option. We are talking about the options, guys. So how to omit the options here? Anything that is extreme. Extreme in the sense, this is what, if they use the superlative words, these extreme words, you try to not pick that as your answer. Okay. Now, and also you will be seeing as soon as you read the option, now one option will be so this one, what is that, so attract you. It says you pick me, you pick me, you pick me. Definitely be careful about that, because 90% of the time that will be your wrong answer. Okay. So never ever try to pick something very, very attractive. So why? Because the option that is very attractive would have come because it will be having all the this one, what is that, words that is present in the passage. And since we would have come across those words, so we feel that, yeah, this could be our answer. Okay. So which are distorted. Yeah. And we'll be having one option where the fact is distorted, changed there. So if the fact presented in the passage and if the fact presented in the option, if it is changed, then that cannot be your answer. And also the answers that asks your judgments. Okay. So whether it is better, successful, more efficient, or whichever that is asking for your this one, so that is also not your option. Okay. So yes, the options that makes you to give the judgments, if you are so through the option, if you're giving the judgment, so then that is also not your option here. Okay. And something which is illogical, unscientific, outrageous, politically incorrect statements also cannot be your options, guys. Okay. So that is what we basically have with regards to options also. And also something assumption which is not clearly mentioned except for your this one, what is that, your inference question. Rest of the answers will be having what is that, so this particular no assumption based questions should be taken there. Okay. So that's the thing we basically have here. Now let us try to, what is that, take up the passage, and I'll talk about this. So now today I'm going to tell you how to summarize the things here. Okay, guys, just give me 1 second. I'll tell few things that you need to note down whenever you people are summarizing. Let me share the whiteboard to you guys. Okay, you guys want to this one, what is that? In हिंदी also, आप लोगों को हिंदी में भी बताना है क्या? ठीक है, हम समझा देंगे. Guys, yeah, you can see. Always see, I'm today telling you about summarization. Very important. What you need to do, read first sentence and last sentence of every paragraph. Each and every para. Okay. This process is known as what? Skimming process. Why? Because we don't want to pollute our mind by reading unnecessary things. Why? We know that in the basically, I had said you in the previous class. So, usually, what happens, how each paragraph will be there: idea, explanation, evidence, and conclusion. So, explanation and evidence, what they do, they use different things and they explain and they try to give the evidence and etc. So they try to give example. For example, so what we are doing, we are trying to explain, give examples, everything, so that you understand the concept well. So therefore, why is that? Why we want to take this thing at least to understand the passage? If we have the idea and conclusion, that will be much more beneficial. Okay, guys, whatever the doubts you have, please ping me. After this class, I'll be speaking about the same, because if you ping now, since I'll be explaining, I may miss your queries. Okay, kindly, whatever doubts you have, you people ping me, like just immediately after this session. Okay, that is the reason we say read the first sentence and last sentence. Why? In the first sentence and last sentence, the ideas will be covered there. Now, in the first paragraph only, you will get the hint of the passage. What is the hint of the passage? Basically, what is the topic of the passage? You will come to know. Not only that, what is the argument, or what is the agenda of the passage also, you will come to know in the first paragraph, in the first sentence only. Okay, very rarely, like in the paragraph, in the first paragraph, in the last part, you will be finding the argument. Otherwise, 95% of the time, you will be seeing the topic and the argument where in the first paragraph only. I'll be showing that to you. Now, the next thing, whatever the next consecutive paragraph will be there, the argument will be moving there. Moving in the sense what? So either they will be supporting the argument, or they will be refuting the argument by taking different instances. Okay, so now let me show the paragraph, and let us do. Everyone try to do this with me. I want everyone to learn today how you people summarize. Okay. So we don't want you people to miss on this, because this is one of the immediate thing that we need for you to solve. So now this is the paragraph that we have. Sorry. You can see from the fossils to over is the first paragraph. So first sentence in the sense what, guys? So basically, do you think the full stop to full stop is the first sentence? So therefore, where is the full stop? We have first full stop. You can see from here to till centuries is the full stop that we have. This is our first sentence. Where is the last sentence? In fact, you can see here, so here in the first paragraph, we have only two sentences. The fossil remains from there to centuries is the first sentence, and the last part is what? This to this here. Now, only two sentences we have in the first paragraph. Therefore, what you need to do, you need to read both the sentence there. But it is not just reading, guys. I want you people to read and understand. I'll show how you people will be reading and understanding. And also the topic also you will be finding out. And what is the argument also you need to understand here from this. The fossil remains of the first flying vertebrates, the pterosaurs, have integrated so paleontologists for more than 2 centuries. So now what is the topic on what they are talking about? They are talking about the pterosaurs. What they are talking about? The pterosaurs. And what is the argument? Because see, the fossil remains of the first flying vertebrates, the pterosaurs. That means what? Their main topic is what? Pterosaurs. And what is the argument? So whatever the fossil remains that they have got, So that has confused, intrigued paleontologists for more than 2 centuries. That means it has confused, or it is putting so paleontologists under a difficult situation of analyzing these things. So what is the argument, guys? Yeah, the argument, this complete sentence itself is giving you the argument. This is how you need to understand. Okay, what is that? The topic is pterosaurus, and what is that made? The fossil remains of these pterosaurus have made paleontologists to be confused, or to be in a situation where they are not able to decide on something. Okay, so this is what, see, when, and also I have said you guys one more thing. Whenever you are doing the reading, you are not supposed to assume anything. Now, what is the last sentence saying? How such large creatures which weighed, and what is the confusion they have? It is explained here. How such large creatures which weighed in some cases as much as piloted hang glider and had a wingspan from 8 to 12 meters solved the problems of powered flight, and exactly what these creatures were, reptiles or birds, are the among questions scientists are puzzled over. See, whatever the idea that they had said, okay, so that idea in the first sentence that has been described in the conclusion part, you can see the last part. So now what is the problem they are having? What is the question? So their question is, such big animals, okay, how did they actually fly? That is their question. And not only that, they are confused whether pterosaurs were reptiles or birds. That's it. So that means what? What is the argument here? They are confused. So whether pterosaurs were so birds or reptiles. This is the main. The you can see here. This is the main argument of the passage. So which we have got in the first paragraph. But now I'm going to tell you, I had said you one thing, right? The rest of the paragraph will be either supporting the claim, or they would be adding on some new information, or they would be, what they would be doing, they would be talking something more important about the same thing. Now, you got to know what is happening in the first paragraph. Second paragraph, so let us read only first sentence and the last sentence here. Perhaps the least controversial assertion about the pterosaurs is that they were reptiles. Now, the second paragraph will be talking what it is trying to say, that the least controversial assertion. What is that least? See, why I'm trying to stress and be dramatic when I'm doing the passages means, I want you people to understand like this. Okay, I don't want just you people to read like this. Perhaps the least controversial assertion about the pterosaurs is that they were reptiles. What did you understand from that? You need to, when you're reading, concentrate there what it is saying, because understanding is very important for you people to answer the question, because the passage questions are not very easy, guys. So don't take it just plainly, it is difficult passages. So that means the least controversial assertion, in the sense what? Least controversial, that means the idea which is not having, which is having very less this one claims, or which is less debated. What is that? Pterosaurs is that they were reptiles. That means they are saying, they're mostly agreeing pterosaurs is reptiles. That means what they are doing here, whatever the argument was there, so they are trying to further add on by taking the decision that pterosaurs is a reptile. Okay. Now, this is one thing I have. I'm not reading the mid of the paragraph. I am going to read the last sentence of the paragraph. Last sentence in the, guys, what does that means? Full stop to full stop. Remember, not line. Don't get confused. First sentence and last sentence means first line and last line. No. Full stop to full stop. See, we read only till here, which is just the 3/4 of a line. So, a sentence could be 2, 3 lines, or a sentence could be just a half a line. Okay. So, therefore, full stop to full stop is your this one. So now you read, when a pterosaurus walked or remained stationary, the fourth finger and with its the wing could only turn upward in an extended. So they're explaining like when it walked, what happened, how its wing was. So it is just explaining the same thing. So therefore, ultimately from the second paragraph, what did you guys realize? In the second paragraph, from the second paragraph, you people realize that so pterosaurus, the least controversial idea is what? They were reptiles. But in the first paragraph, what? The scientists are puzzled whether so these pterosaurus were reptiles or birds. Got it? Now, let us see what is happening in the third paragraph. The pterosaurus resembled both birds and bats in their overall structures and proportions. Now here we have a different claim. What is that claim? So, pterosaurus resembled. That means in the second paragraph, they said it is considered to be reptiles. But in the second part, what they are trying to say? They resembled, they had some features both which was related to birds and bats. So in their overall structures and proportion. Now here there is a twist. They are trying to say that there is resemblance between birds and bats. Bats are mammals, birds are birds. Okay. So now just little opposite from your second paragraph. But it is explaining the second feature of the first thing. Now, here what is that? Last sentence in the birds. However, there is a twist here. These bones are reinforced more massively by internal studs. Now they are placing some differences between pterosaurs and the birds. Why? In the birds. However is what? Some kind of difference they are trying to say. The twist, opposite idea. See, when we use however, this is a transition word. When we have however, that means what? Whatever it is said previously, it will be just opposite to that in the next part. These bones are reinforced more massively by, that means in birds, whatever the bones they are referring to, that will be more massively this one reinforced into the internal studs, which means what? This is not found in our pterosaurus. Okay, that is the reason they are stating this. That means here they are saying, first thing they said, they both pterosaurus resembled birds and bats. But lastly, it is saying that, however, there is a difference between the birds and pterosaurus. Okay, so that means what happened? Here they claim that there is difference between birds and pterosaurus. But in the uppercase, they said it is mostly like reptiles. Now, the last second paragraph tells us what? Although scales typically cover reptiles, pterosaurus probably had airy coats. Now, here they are claiming some kind of differences. So reptiles usually covered with scales, the scaly surfaces. If you see snakes and all, you can see the scaly surface. Whereas, so your pterosaurus, they had airy coats. But on both of them, reptiles and pterosaurus, there was some covering. Okay, but the coverings were different. That's it. So let us try to keep this thing. Now, the recent discovery of Pterosaurus specimen covered in long, dense and relatively thick air-like fossil material was the first clear evidence that his reasoning was correct. Now, what is that? They found the fossil also. That fossil had this air-like structures, everything. So even here also they are trying to say the same. Along with that, they are trying to say some his here. Is in the sense it is THX-lay. Okay. So to get to know more about this, we can read the mid of the paragraph. But right now, what we can say, yes. So no need to read until and unless there is any question on TH-Agley and the reasoning, no need to take it, because we have understood that yes, reptiles will have scaly covers, whereas our pterosaurs have airy coats. Okay, even from the fossils, we have got to know here. Now, the next thing that we have here, efforts to explain how pterosaurs became airborne have led to suggestions that they have launched themselves by this, dropping from trees, even by rising into waves. That means here they are telling, how did pterosaurs launch themselves, or how did they fly? They have some of these suggestions which is stating how pterosaurs would have learned this flying, okay, or how they would have launched the flying. They have given some three things here. That means this here in this paragraph they are talking how pterosaurs would have learned flying there. Okay. The third cause, the wind that made such waves, however, might have been too strong for pterosaurs to control their flight once airborne. Now it is talking about what? So here they are trying to give three ways how pterosaurs would have launched themselves. But here they are trying to say the wind that made such waves, however, might have been too strong for pterosaurs to control their flight. That means it is trying to say one drawback or one reason, so that would have made us to think that pterosaurs would have not used above method to fly. Okay, so now totally, what is the summary we have? So now tomorrow we'll solve the passage on this, the questions. Here the summary is pterosaurs, isn't it? What they are talking about? So they are talking about the main claim was what? Whether pterosaurs are reptiles or your birds. In the second paragraph, they said it is mostly reptiles, non-controversial it is. But in second, what they said, it may be birds, but again there is discrepancies. Why? There is differences. Okay, so therefore bird is gone. And in thirdly, what they have said, they have resemblance. What is that? So reptiles have coverings. Even we have a proof that even pterosaurs have a covering, but it is different covering. Okay, but there is a coverings, the body. And thirdly, launching the flight. Launching the flight means how did they make themselves fly? Launching the flight. They gave three reasons and they have given one last reason how this would have not worked out. This is the entire summary that we have here, guys. Okay, so now if you want, I'll give you 1-2 minutes time. So for you people to just go through the passage and see whether anything extra is there or not. Because we read only part of it, isn't it? So now you people only go through the entire thing. See, do we have anything extra here? It's just the same thing, explanation, and they are using different things and explaining. I'll just give one minute for each of the slide. Just try to see there. Go through the entire passage now. That means every sentence, every word. You guys go through it. Quickly. Next. Yes, I guess you got to know this. So now tell me, guys. So whether we had anything different here? It was all same. You can text, guys. You can text me. It was all same, right? Then why to waste time reading unnecessarily the complete thing? Because just we'll get the summary, and you will be seeing that by taking the summary, you people will be knowing exactly where what idea is there. Whenever you come across any specific detailed or any other type of idea based question, what you will come to know, okay, so in this paragraph they were talking about flight, so let me get only for the last paragraph. If they were talking about the reptiles, this one evidence, so we'll immediately go to second paragraph. We won't go to any other paragraph directly. The use of summarization is this. How much time should be taken to summarize? Summarize should be done within 30 seconds to 1 minute. Okay. So we'll be taking 1 minute, maximum 1.5 minutes. So we'll be taking to summarize. And 1 minute also, 1 minute is ideal time, Jeeta. Okay. So now, did you guys understand how to summarize? We'll do more passages. So then you will be understanding. Hiran Kumar, can we say evidence which supports the conclusion? Evidence is yes. So the conclusion, so to give more, say, for example, to show you people what is that, how summary is helpful, I did the evidence, I took practically, I explained you, I showed you, that is the evidence. Yes, definitely evidence is nothing but that supports the conclusion of the author or the main idea of the author. Now you people can ask me any questions that you have. Articles already, like whatever we are doing regularly in the class, Kushbu, the this one, what is that, that particular handouts are given to you guys. How many questions are there based on passage? So you will be getting 3 to 4 questions, in the exam. Maximum 5 questions you will be having, not more than that. But however, we'll be having 9 types of questions there. Any other queries? Even for hard level questions, do we have to approach? Yes. So even hard level also you need to approach in the same way, Arbas. This is the ideal way we need to have. How many passages are there? We'll be usually having like five passages. We'll be having a flame. Then Irene Kumar, so ma'am, if we just look into first line of first para, so how can we say that this para is all about this line? Just now, that is the reason. It's not first line, dear. So it is first sentence. Please, you need to be careful. First sentence is the first idea I described. So in each paragraph, what happens will be having the idea, explanation, evidence, and conclusion. So only we say, if you read the first sentence and last sentence, you will get the glimpses what is happening in the passage. Okay. So therefore, to just add the summary, I'm not saying like all of the questions will be answering with just first with this summary. No, many of these questions could be answered, but however, it will give us the clue in which paragraph what is there here. Okay, so that is the reason. So we use this summary, and always make sure you are reading the first sentence there and last sentence. Answer keyouts will be there in the this one handouts only. We'll be providing all those things. Okay, but practice. Now you people try to practice summarization. Yeah, tomorrow when we do the questions now on the basis of this thing, so you people will be understanding, yes, how easy it is to answer the questions using this summary part. Okay, so therefore you people can actually tomorrow we'll do questions, solving the passage questions. Today we know what has happened in that passage. Keeping this idea, what we'll do, we'll solve so 9 different types of questions on the passage tomorrow. Okay, right. Ma'am, how to tackle difficult word? I'll show you tomorrow, Irene. Practically, I'll show whenever we get a difficult word, if we are clueless about that, so how to omit that word and understand the base idea there. Okay? Yes, you will be getting extra this one passages for practicing. Okay, Kushbu? Right. I guess so. Everyone's query is answered. Thank you so much, guys. So we'll see you tomorrow with practical approach to questions. Okay? Right. Thank you so much. Bye. Take care, guys.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye, Supriya. Thank you.
Bye bye, ma'am. Thank you. Best answer.